Welcome to this activity where you'll learn how to create custom shapes that you can later use in all sorts of projects. This will take you roughly 20 minutes to complete from start to finish. Let's add a square on our canvas. Grab the rectangle tool, hold Shift and drag one out. The size doesn't really matter. Now I'll duplicate it with Ctrl J and I want to rotate it 45 degrees so we'll end up with a new shape. Use Ctrl T for that, and as you rotate, hold Shift to constrain this movement to 15-degree increments. This means you'll have to go through 3 stages. We have our first shape, but it's on 2 separate layers, so let's merge them together with Ctrl E. If you switch to the white arrow, you'll see your 2 separate paths. Use it to grab the original shape's anchor points. Click and drag is my go-to option because it would be too hard to try and click directly on the point itself. An alternative is to use the Path Selection tool, which gets the job done in one action. OK, now this Live Shapes Properties panel should be lit up. Increase the corner radius to something really rounded. OK, this looks interesting. Let's say we're done with it and we want to save it. That's possible from the Edit menu, that's the Photoshop one on a Mac, and you have to scroll down somewhere around the middle. Here you can find Define Custom Shape. Click it and you'll be asked for a name. To make sure you've done a good job, take a look at this preview. Hit OK and let's work on this shape just a bit more and then we can switch projects. Here's what I want you to do. Create a duplicate so we can have a before and after shot. Move it to the side and we'll use Photoshop's guides to help us find its horizontal and vertical centers. The hotkey is Ctrl R and this will bring up your rulers at the left and top side of Photoshop. These are set in pixels because that's what I chose in my Preferences panel. If you'd rather use something else, right-click them and you can change them on the spot. This isn't important though, as we'll click and drag out a guide. This is what we're looking for. As long as you have this shape selected, as you approach its middle point, you'll start to feel this guide wants to snap into position. That's a useful feature because we can find its middle point without any additional techniques. If you switch to the Move tool, you might see this cursor. This means we can move our guides around, which in some cases might be fantastic. Here we want them fixed to this specific position. To do that, use Ctrl, Alt, semicolon, and this will lock them into place. As you can see, nothing new happens as I hover over them with the Move tool. If you repeat the hotkey Ctrl, Alt, semicolon, this will unlock them. That's not what we're looking for, so let me glue them into place. This time I'll use the command from this top menu. Go to View, Lock Guides. In case you forget its hotkey, you can find it here. OK, switch back to the Direct Selection tool and select all your anchor points. Next, we'll add a few more with the Pen tool, and these guides will tell us where to position our mouse cursor. Please make sure that you see this symbol. If you see this asterisk, that means you don't have your paths selected, so grab the white or black arrows and make sure you click on your existing paths. OK, now add 1 point for each intersection. Take your time with it, it'd be ideal if you were accurate to within a pixel. OK, now that we have this new shape with 4 new anchor points, create 2 other duplicates and place them anywhere on the canvas. Here's what we're going to do. For the first shape, we'll select those 4 anchor points we just created and we'll delete them. It doesn't seem to make sense, right? Why would we add them and then delete them? Well, here's how our shape is going to change. Just to make sure there's nothing else going on, I'll switch to the background layer and activate the Move tool. Now I'll Control-click on this shape to select, and I'll switch to the white arrow. I'll click and drag to select this left anchor point, and I'll delete it. OK, nothing too spectacular, right? But let me do that for the remaining 3. This will take a second or two. OK, hit Ctrl-1 and take a look at our new shape. Pretty cool, right? OK, let me speed this up. For this other shape, I'll select all anchor points so you can see it's a perfect replica. Next, I'll click on this drop-down and I'll choose Exclude Overlapping Shapes. And here's another interesting custom shape. With the final copy, I'll use my Convert Point tool. First, I'll use the white arrow to grab all these anchor points. Now, I'll switch to the Pen tool and I'll hold Alt. This is what I'm looking for. I'll do the top one first, but remember to hold Shift as well to constrain this movement to a straight line. OK, now I'll do the bottom one and both remaining sides, but I'll speed up the process because I think you get the idea. Once you're done, use the same Exclude Overlapping Shapes, and this is what you'll get. All these 3 shapes aren't highly detailed, but it's a good starting point for any Photoshop user that wants to create his own set of custom shapes. And with that, we've concluded this part. Please take the time to recreate everything you've seen so far. Don't close the video yet, we have another pen tool activity in this second tab. Here you can see we have all sorts of shapes. Your task is to create custom shapes based on their outlines. Here's how this should go. Grab the pen tool and make sure you've set it to Shape from the options bar. I'll start with this blue one. Click once, then hold Shift and click again on the left side. Now we have our first curve, so click and drag this time around. Now our shape is starting to show its face. Move down while still holding Shift. So far, so good. Now we have another curved area, but there's no problem with it. I'm still holding Shift, by the way. I want my lines to be perfect. Okay, this is where I wanted to arrive. If I try to continue my shape, notice how it's going to be out of order. This isn't what we're going for. To fix this issue, you'll need to convert this point through the Alt key. Click once, and you're good. The thing is, here's what may happen. The next time you click, you might get a rounded line, and that's because this handle isn't aligned to your shape. So you have 2 choices. You either go back and align it, this may be okay in some cases, or you use Alt yet again. No matter the method, you can then continue and wrap this up. Just 2 more clicks to go. Okay, this is the last one, and I need to close off this shape. Okay, perfect. Well, actually I've hurried it along, so it's not pixel perfect, but since it's a shape, I can always go back and fine-tune it. Nobody is going to record you, so take your time with it. And since there are so many shapes, I'm happy if you just do the outlines. If you want to create the interior white part, that would be absolutely fantastic, but I understand it's going to be time-consuming. It's up to you, but my advice is you take advantage of all these activities and exercises so you can get the most out of this course. The pen tool is one of the most used tools by professional designers from all sorts of fields. If that doesn't convince you to give it a shot, I don't know what will. Okay, and with that, please get to work and show me your result in the comments section. Have fun, and please don't rush it.